We're going to cover lesson 13, part 5 now, which is pretty similar to part 4 in that we're using those if then statements or the if else statements. And so we've actually seen these gears before. If I run it, you'll see these the red, blue, green gear. We've actually seen that in a previous lesson before. But this time they want us to play around with it so that if we are doing something as a user input, for example, in this case, if we are pressing the space bar, those gears are going to go in the opposite direction. And when we are not pressing the space bar, those gears are going to resume back to their original rotation. So I actually already did this one, and I just want to show you what that looks like. So again, we're going to need that if statement from the control panel. And from the world section, I went ahead and pulled this key down, and then I chose space, meaning that when the space bar is pressed down, these are things that I want to happen. So here I just have it in the order from top down: red gear, blue gear, green gear, because that's already created up here as a sprite. I'm just referring back to those variables. And all I'm saying is that when that space bar is pressed down, this is the rotation that I want them to happen. Remember that we are using a minus, plus, minus in the order that they are happening, because when you have those opposite rotation cycles, they're going to look more natural, like actual gears going against each other. So those minus, plus, minuses are going to make it look a little bit more realistic. Okay, so that's if I press the space button down. But if I'm not pressing the space button down, I want them to go in a separate opposite direction. So all I'm doing is I'm taking what I did with the red gear rotation, that minus right here, and I'm changing that to a plus sign. Same thing with the blue gear, that rotation that was going in a positive direction, I'm now changing it to a negative direction. And that green gear that was going in a negative direction, I'm now making a positive direction. So that when I'm not pressing the space bar down, all those gears are going to go the opposite way. So let me reset and run and let me show you. So right now, the way that it's running, that's its else statement, because I'm not pressing anything down right now. This is the direction that these gears are rotating in. But in a moment, I'm going to show you, I'm going to press the space button down, and you're going to see that they are all now moving in the opposite direction when I do that. So I'm going to press, you see that? They're now moving in the opposite direction. If I let go, they go back to that else statement. So again, this is just saying that, hey, when I'm not pressing the space button down, this is what I want to happen. This is the direction I want to happen. Remember, we staggered the plus, minus, plus so that the gears look like they're turning against each other in a really more natural, realistic looking way. But when we are pressing the space bar, these are things that we want to happen. When we let go, that else statement, this is what happens instead.